Everybody, it's France, and we're here for our AEW on TBS review for October the 12th, 2022. We are heading towards Full Gear. And tonight was the first time of hopefully many, many times. I hope they go to Canada 3 times a year, 4 times a year, maybe once a quarter. But the first time AEW goes to Canada. With the main event, the All-Atlantic Championship on the line, where Orange Cassidy took on Pac. The Ring of Honor World Championship on the line as Chris Jericho's crusade to desecrate the name of Ring of Honor continues. Could Danielson stop the desecration? And what does Daniel Garcia play in all of this? What does he do for all of this? Now, right before the show, and we have more stuff as well, but right before the show, Tony Khan put out on social that Renee Paquette has officially joined All Elite Wrestling. She joins her husband and all of her friends from years past in AEW. Good on her. Great to see her there. And as long as she doesn't do commentary, keep her away from commentary because that is not her strong suit. Interviews, stage shows, everything like that is her bread and butter. Keep her off commentary and the show will do fine, which is great. Moving on to this. Renee Paquette, speaking of, come start the show. Welcome us all to Toronto, Canada, and being here in AEW. And her, which was people out there, it's like, man, I was hoping her guest was going to be the Kenny Omega. Well, no, Omega and the Bucks were not here. Even though AEW had the gall to sell elite shirts that had the Canadian flag on them, so everyone expected the elite to possibly show up. No elite tonight. Jungle Boy versus Luchasaurus in action because before that we had Christian Cage. He says it's great to be back in Toronto and as the face of Canada guarantees a win, just like the Toronto Maple Leafs losing at round 1. He brings out Luchasaurus. Jungle Boy comes charging out with a dropkick when he comes to the ring next. He follows up with that on the back of his feet. He then yanks the top rope while standing on the back. Now, of course, Christian Cage was on commentary for the majority of this match. What does Jungle Boy have to do to be able to topple Luchasaurus? Find a part and work on it. He worked on the arm that Luchasaurus uses to chokeslam his opponents down to the ground. So that is what happened there for the majority of this match. Christian Cage, of course, Jungle Boy is getting the better of Luchasaurus. Christian Cage is not happy about any of this and says, fuck this, I'm going down there to watch the rest of this match. I mean, Luchasaurus brought a table out, tried many, many times to put Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, through the table, and just couldn't do it until Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, was able to do a sunset powerbomb, and this looked brutal because the way that Luchasaurus jumped off the ring apron through the table just looked very, very, wonky. But he puts him through the table. Christian comes down. This turns the match around, of course, and Jungle Boy eventually succumbs to the fuckery of Christian Cage, spiking him with whatever the fuck they called it. He had him in a torture rack, spikes him down, gets the pin in the win, and Luchasaurus picks up the win, as he should have. This was the right call. Luchasaurus beating Jungle Boy right now will not hurt Jungle Boy, but Jungle Boy beating Luchasaurus right now would be like, what is the fucking point? Jungle Boy should not be beating Luchasaurus until we are 100% sure that we're getting Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy, and it looks like about All Out is when, Double or Nothing is when we would probably get possibility of Christian Cage being back in time for that. So on the road to Double or Nothing, if we have him back in time, is when Luchasaurus could lose to Jungle Boy to get Jungle Boy to Christian Cage. Right now, Luchasaurus needed to win this match. We go to the break. We come back. Stokely Hathaway in the back reveals that he had purchased Street Profits private party, because about the fucking same, it seems like, contract from Roosh and them. Matt Hardy says he will fight them for their contracts. Paige says, why don't you let them fight their own battles? And he points out and says, how about this Friday? If Paige wins, if you beat Paige, You guys are free of contracts. You can do whatever you want. But if Paige wins, that firm will also own the contract of Matt Hardy. Hardy just like, fuck. And he's like, no, you got this, we got this. We're going to do the Hardy Party right this time. Then we go out to the ring, and QT Marshall appears to mock the new name of the tag team, War Joe. War Joe. I don't know why the fuck anyone says Ward Joe. It's War Joe. War Joe. War Joe. There's no D in there. It's War Joe. It's cut off by Wardlow, and then Samoa Joe. This match lasted, what was it, 2-3 minutes? Running Coquina Clutch into, Coquina Clutch into Nick Camarato. That picks up the win for War Joe. Marshall stumbles in and is back to the ring, but then he mistakes, and that's a mistake because he gets powerbombed once, then twice. So he's going for the second one. But Prince Nana and the Embassy make their way out, and he says he's disappointed in them for sticking their nose in Embassy business. Brian Cage then repeats the message, and he says he hasn't seen FTR all day, but where are they at? I'm surprised they aren't here. And then FTR shows up. Dax says there are the three of them, but Wardlow and Joe just worked so hard, so he can't ask them to compete again on Rampage. And then they have a partner in mind. He's from the Ontario area, and he's making his return tonight. And what time does Rampage come on? 10? Sean Spears comes out with a new entrance video. He's not using the song by what the fuck was his name? Josiah Williams. He's got a different song, it sounds like. And he comes out. It seemed like it was more of a rendition. It was a remix of his 10 from WWE. Throws Aaron Solo in. He gets hit with the big rig. Babyface celebrating. It's going to be the Pinnacle back in one big full circle with Wardlow and Samoa Joe around as well. And Sean Spears is now a babyface. I think it's time for him to have a babyface run. His entire shtick MJF doesn't need him anymore. MJF has the firm. So we'll see what happens with that on, I guess, Friday. Apparently, Rampage is still going to be on Friday, even though up until this week they've been saying that Rampage was going to be on Thursday this week. But apparently it's going to be taped tomorrow and then put on Friday. I know Tony Khan has this, I don't want to compete with the NFL, but you need to knock that bullshit off. This is just dumb. Floyd Strickland versus Daddy Ass Billy Gunn. This is great. Like, it's kind of funny. You had the DX reunion on Monday. You got the crowd to say the Badass Billy Gunn name, which I wish they would have said Daddy Ass Billy Gunn instead of Badass Billy Gunn, but whatever. And I'm just going to say right now, Sean Waltman and Brian James look out of shape and old and sad. Shawn Michaels looks pretty good for his age, so does Triple H, because they keep themselves in shape. Billy Gunn comes out, takes his shirt off, and looks better than all four of them who were on Monday Night Raw. I think AEW got the better deal of the DX group with Daddy Ass Billy Gunn. So, of course, this match is happening because of what happened at at Grand Slam. And this is a good match here. Billy Gunn's like, the fact that Billy Gunn's able to work this match and work at a high pace, high caliber that he has been in 2022 is nothing short of amazing. So, Gunn follows by hitting driving a knee drop to leg. Strickland hits a diving knee to Gunn's leg on the outside. He's working on Gunn's leg the entire time. Back inside the ring, Danny Ash reverses by dropping Sword down on the mat. Then he drops him several times into some clotheslines and a jackhammer. He looks for a famous hood, but is avoided. Swerve once again attacks the knee in the flatliner. He heads for the top turnbuckle, shakes down Gunn. He is able to kick out. Gunn then tries to Swerve slam down, but reverses a sneak pinfall. 1, 2, he grabs the rope, Swerve grabs the rope to get the win for the 3 while the referee's not looking at his way. Swerve picks up the win. The Acclaim that come out, they shoot right past Swerve. They don't even give a shit about him. They go to help Billy Gunn up, whose knee is bothering him. They're going for the scissor me, and then Mark Sterling come out and says, wait. They have documents sent to them from the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. And Sterling now owes the term scissor me, which means the team can't do the action. the words. The money from the t-shirt goes to him. He says that they do it, he will sue them so hard they will be stuck in court and will have to forfeit the titles. He's willing to work with them if they have an offer, but until then, he says, "Scissor me, daddy niece." They scissor to the crowd's disdain. Obviously, this is leading to the varsity athletes versus the Acclaim for the World Tag Team Championships. I have no problem with that. You give us something, an actual story. I mean, it is very weak, the fact that they have to go out there and try and win back Scissor Me from the dastardly duo of the varsity athletes, but yeah. It is what it is. MJF is being interviewed backstage. He's asked about the handshake last week and the different side of him. Stoked the NLS, but MJF is like, "Oh man, you're gonna do the same trope, aren't you? Oh, this is funny, isn't it? You know who doesn't find this funny? Me." And this is strike 2. Strike 1 was when you got involved last week. And without being asked, and if he does it again, he will be fired. And then tells him, "You're gonna have to go take this and go have a nice little timeout. Bye-bye." He doesn't want to remind. It says William Regal is a villainous as Mary Poppins. And he doesn't want to be reminded of the dark past. He doesn't know if he's going to shake hands with Wheeler Yuta, but he knows since he's nice guys. He learned a long time ago. Nice guys finish last. He knows the locker room hate him, but people don't have a clue what it is like to be him. Knowing he has to be the bad guy. Says he doesn't like himself either when he goes out there. That's what it takes to be world champion. He will do that, and he will be by hook or by crook the next world champion. Love yourself some MJF. Gotta love yourself some MJF. Then we have Jon Moxley coming out. Says it's great after 3 years. It's great to be back in Toronto. And he talks about how different people have tried to take his title over the years. But being world champion isn't easy as you have a target. People want something from you always. You live in pain, and lots of guys get to the point and they crumble and self-destruct. Some faster than others. He says the champion doesn't have the luxury of doubt, as it is a dirty job, and he needs to be ruthless, and he loves his job. Hangman Page then makes his way to the ring, asks for the microphone, which he does, which the champion provides eventually. Page tells him that going on here, which tells him that whatever he has to say about him, you should say it to his face. But you said it all last week. He said he'd be lying if he didn't say what that coming from Moxley was, it meant the world to him. He's watched him over the last 3 years and kind of respect him inside and out of the ring. He's a good father, husband, and man. Puts over Moxley the champion, father, husband. MJF is there shown watching him. He says Moxley shattered that illusion when he called him a kid. And Moxley admits that's exactly what he thinks of him. He doesn't think Page is the same guy who knocked him off the ladder last year to win what was it? I think it was the poker chip last year. And Hangman Adam Page says, "You know what? You're probably right. I hesitated in May, and it cost me that championship." He won for the trios titles, and with his friends and failed, and week after week they seemingly disappear. His old friends have disappeared. Page is left with nothing. He is angry. He is frustrated. He can't sleep. He's depressed, and the medicine isn't working. But he's still here because he is a man. He's a father and a husband. He's been beaten till he turns beaten and choked till he's turned blue. But he keeps coming back because he is a man. He starts punching his head repeatedly. I think he tried to bust himself open so that he could wipe it on his hand and then wipe it on Mox's wife beater later on in the promo. Page says he knows what he has to do, and he says he doesn't care if it's family in the crowd. He will do whatever it takes to get the title back. He says he will be the next world champion, and unlike MJF, he wanted to tell him face to face. And he shoulders, and then he takes his head. He's looking for blood on top of his head to rub on the chest, on the tank top of Jon Moxley. Didn't get any because he didn't hit himself in the right spots or whatever. And he heads out. And that is that. No justice. Those two gave you a big reason. If you were not sold on the championship match, I'm not really, because I don't think Hangman Page should be in this position, rewarding people for bad behavior. Tony Khan again showing you how much he doesn't give a shit about things and how people can walk all over him every single time. You just continue to reward people for bad behavior. You keep doing that, and people are going to continue to walk over you and let you know, oh no, go do what you want. I'm not going to do anything because I want to be your best friend. I don't want to be your boss. But if you put this in a vacuum and you just these two guys selling you for a title match next week, damn good promo. Chris Jericho versus Bryan Danielson, Ring of Honor World Championship match. It's the Lionheart versus the American Dragon. Jericho actually tried to shake his hand. He's like, come on. He didn't have a mic, but you could just see him say, come on, Bryan, shake my hand, come on. Bryan actually kicks his hand away. They fight. They start chopping. Bryan's getting chopped. You can just see his chest getting completely beat red. Holy shit. So they have a fight here. Surprisingly, Daddy Magic and Matt Menard and Angelo Parker did not get involved at all while the referee was up. But you could tell towards the end of this match when Paul Turner was going down, because he's standing there by the ring. He has his arms in and his chest popped out, like caved into himself, like preparing to take a hit. So he ends up getting knocked down. Menard goes and grabs the title, gives it to Chris Jericho. This was so dumb looking, but it was obvious it was going to happen. Jericho's sitting there, he's got the title, he's like, come on, get up. He's like, just waiting for Garcia to show up. I think Garcia was late a bit because he continues to just stand there with the championship, and it just seemed like it was taking for fucking ever. Garcia eventually runs down, pulls the title away, allowing Jericho to get hit with the Busaiku knee. But then Garcia blasts Danielson with the title, allowing Chris Jericho to pin and retain the championship. After the match, Garcia stands there. He doesn't look like he's happy with what he did. Jericho gives him a hug. It wasn't a double, like, yeah, I got that smile, like, full embrace thing. Jericho gives him a hug. Garcia puts one arm up and gives him a one-arm hug. So, I saw this thing. I expected it last week in the tag team match. I expected Garcia to turn on Danielson, allowing the opponents to win. Didn't happen. Saw this coming. Garcia and them hug. Like I said, Cannoli and Wheeler Yuta come out and you're around. They come in and they said these guys run away. You could just see the look on his face that he's not happy with what he did, but he did it for his reasons and his reasons only, which I cannot even figure out what to tell you why and what it's going to be. But this whole entire thing is not done by a long shot. If they don't have the end result of Daniel Garcia winning this title from Jericho in the end, they're making a massive mistake. Renee Paquette is backstage with Vicky Guerrero and Nyla Rose. She claims to be the TBS champion, and JP hasn't challenged her to a match next on Rampage, so after the match is over, she can take the title and parade it around and show the real champion and Nyla Rose what a real champion looks like. And I'm like, sorry, honey, that is not going to happen. You're not ready for a title, period. Jamie Hayter and Shit Faker versus Toni Storm and Hikaru Shida. Oh, look, the women are back in the death slot where they belong when Shit Faker's in the ring. This match was, let's just put it this way. You have three world-class athlete professional wrestlers in Jamie Hayter, Hikaru Shida, and Toni Storm. And then you got Shit Faker, who just brings every match that she's in down. Every time she goes in there, she stinks up the joint. Can't hit a thrust kick that looks good. She can't do a sling blade to save her life. Can't do the stomp to make it look good. Everything she fucking does sucks. Toni Storm beats her with a roll-up in the end. Don't give a shit. Main event, Pac versus Orange Cassidy, All-Atlantic Championship match. Pac comes in, and basically the story of this is Pac has been getting desperate the last three title matches. He won by using the hammer. He used the hammer to his advantage, and he tried towards the end of this match multiple times to use the hammer to pick up the win, and he just got thwarted. The referee, like Bryce Rensburg, actually was on Pac's case this entire time. Danhausen came in and fucking came behind the timekeeper's table and cursed Pac. Bryce Rensburg's behind him and turns him around. It's like, what the fuck you doing? Give me that hammer. He gave him the hammer. Pac grabbed another one from under the ring, looks to use it as a weapon. Orange Cassidy with a punch. Couple more orange punches later, he actually grabbed the hammer, was going to do it, use it himself, get revenge, they say. But I'm thinking, well, if he wants to get revenge on Pac, you beat him and you take the title. That's the easiest set of revenge right there. 3 orange punches, and then Orange Cassidy is your new All-Atlantic champion. I'm not going to be people goes out there, goes, oh, this is terrible. How could you give him a title? He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't try all the time. It's like, it's the All-Atlantic Championship. Who gives a shit? Pac won the championship at Forbidden Door. Pac then did almost next to nothing on. He did nothing on television. He had 3 title defenses on Dark for independent promotions in the UK. I believe Orange Cassidy still does independent dates. So we're probably gonna see more of that independent matches on Dark from like Wrestling Revolver or maybe PWG or anywhere else that has the All Atlantic title match. I'm still expecting Will Ospreay because I remember at the G1 when he won a match. He won the match to get to the finals, the semifinals match. He was called, like, Chris Charlton called him the real, true All Atlantic champion. So that's got to happen. I mean, I don't think anyone would be mad about a Orange Cassidy, Will Ospreay 2, which, in my opinion, Ospreay should win the championship at Wrestle Kingdom and hold it till Forbidden Door 2. That's just me getting those title defenses from New Japan shows in the meantime. I think that would be great. Again, so after the show, I did see this on social media. Orange Cassidy got the mic and it's like, "Hello, Canada. Look what I just won." And said he doesn't like to carry things, so he asked somebody to bring out his backpack. That somebody turned out to be Chris Statlander, who had a brace from the top of her leg all the way down to her ankle, just in different sections. And he's like, "Take your time, Chris. What, are you injured or something?" And gets the backpack, puts the title on there, said he'd see it soon. He said now that he has that, he can go wherever he wants, whenever he wants. So I expect to see some title defenses coming on Dark in the next few weeks. But it's like I said, it's the All Atlantic Championship, and I've been like, anytime that title comes up, and I still sit there and wonder, why was this title even invented? Why did they make this championship? We wanted trios titles, not this championship. We'll see. I don't expect it to be on TV that often. But someone said that Cassidy should be the TNT champion, and I'm like, no. This is the only singles championship that Orange Cassidy should win in his entire AEW career. He can win the trios titles with the best friends. He can win the tag team titles with the best friends with somebody else. But when it comes to singles gold, I think Orange Cassidy should be leveled at the All Atlantic Championship, which isn't a bad deal. But that is your AEW on TBS review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds of the France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/the France Club. And find me on Instagram at the France Club. And I'll see you guys on Friday for SmackDown. Until then, my name is the France, and I'll see you guys later.